Wow, it really cleared up. Look at that. You can see all type of definition. What is this little white speck on my forehead? Jesus. You can see all the individual dog hairs on my shirt too. That is awesome. Anyway, I think it's been about a month since I've made a review for Futurama. I left off on season 4. This would be excuse me, episode 3 and 4. That's odd. Episode 3 and 4. I think episode 3 is titled I can't say the word. An anthology of interest. 2 and 5 is, or 4. Sorry, 4 is Love and Rocket. Um, I like number. I like episode 4. I keep saying I can't remember if it's 5 or 4. It'll be in the description though. But I like the second one first. But I'll do the first one first. I do them in chronological order. So in the first episode, it's actually a pretty good concept. So the professor's one of his inventions is a what if machine. Basically, hypothetical questions and they play out. This is probably one of the more memorable episodes for me. Actually, sharing a memory of this episode with my brother and a high school friend of mine's. So I'm pretty much connected to this episode at the hip. Bender's story isn't the first story, but I'll go ahead and talk about it. The character, he turns into a human, and well, God, he just starts doing all this goofy stuff. He winds up projectile vomiting everywhere for some reason. I didn't know he had that much vomit to do, and it's all like green sludge. So I'm assuming they're saying that that's just stomach acid. I don't know. Maybe they're. I don't know where they're going with that anyway. Um, so let me see here. Let me see here. Let me see here. What else happened? All of them are pretty short. They're only like a couple of minutes a piece, because of course the whole show without the commercials is only 20 minutes. So each of these things are basically like a YouTube clip almost. If this dog would stop pushing me to want to pet her. She hears me talking and thinks I'm talking to her because I do. Oh, but you're a good girl. Oh, you're a good girl. Oh, you're a good girl. You're a good dog. Dog is the love of my life, aren't you? Aren't you, boo boo? Yeah, you want me to pet you? Okay, sorry. So yeah, Bender winds up. What is he? He winds up overeating to the point where he becomes 600 pound. Life puts them to shame because I think he's like, Jesus, he's like a couple 1,000 pounds, which is impossible. But we probably should be. If he literally turned Bender into a human, he probably would kill himself because it takes a certain amount of time for a human being to learn. Hey, don't touch that. It's hot. Hey, don't do this. This will break. Hey, don't eat that. It'll mess your stomach up. Hey, don't do this. It'll kill you. It takes years, believe it or not. It takes years for a human to learn these things, and that's why it's good to have decent parents involved, decent parents around to make sure parental units, decent parental units involved, and to make sure that you don't hurt yourself or get hurt. But anyway, he winds up eating too much, smoking stuff, and killing himself. Basically, the gluttony. I feel like, yeah. I don't know why that one was the best one for me, but anyway. Let me see here. Um, Fries was basically a filler because I think they actually wind up. No, I think there's actually a movie that winds up getting made, not of that subject, but I mean of that subject, but not hopefully not based off of it. Well, not hopefully, but I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know if there's any connection between. There's a movie that was made that had a whole bunch of '80s babies in there, and they basically had to fight all these um, video game characters, like Donkey Kong and Pac Man and stuff like that. They had to do all that stuff. See how hot this thing is. Yeah, I got a couple more minutes to go, but my phone is kind of overheating here. It's a hot day. My little AC can only heat up my little room. Yes, people. Everybody has different living situations. If you're in a newer house or if you have money to retrofit your house to put in a central heating and cooling unit. Do it. I don't. So I had to buy a standalone unit. Does the job though. I'm not complaining. Playing my phone's hot now. That's all. But anyway, and then okay, the best story of all was a spoof. I guess that's the best way to. I guess I'm using that word right. I guess that's what it's called, a spoof. A spoof of dog leash up there. You see that? Gotta walk your dog. Okay. It's a spoof of dang, what, the Wizard of Oz. Now the only thing that I was like, I was kind of a little tired when I was watching it, so I was kind of like dozing off a little bit. But the thing that woke me up and got me so mad, they made a the Wiz joke, which, ooh, that kind of that ruffled my feathers right there. I have to admit that the Wiz is the all black Wizard of Oz, which I haven't seen in so long, so I can't. I think the reason that the joke was made is because somebody has grown up with one version and then another version comes out and they may feel insulted by it. But it's a much deeper conversation than somebody being insulted or if one film was better than the other. I don't know the reasoning behind uh well, is it the Wiz or yeah, that's the name of it, I believe. I think it's the name of it. But it's the all black version. What's the name of it? The Wiz or the Oz? No, it's the Wiz. It's the Wiz, isn't it? I should have did more research on it before I start talking out my ass here, but there's I don't know. There's an all black version. I think they took the all black version to Broadway before they made it into a movie. I can't. I don't know. I should have did more research. But my whole thing is that's one of the beauties of this series because you're able to you're able to watch an episode and have a pretty long conversation. Some of the episodes that Futurama has, some of them are just filler and full of like uh, sex jokes and fart jokes. But some of them, when you watch them, you're like, okay, we can have a conversation about that, a long one. But I think you did a good job recreating the Wizard of Oz and using the characters that they had available through from Futurama. I really enjoyed it, but for some reason they made Leela really really evil. I don't know why. Um, didn't seem that evil. Now, uh, overall, it's a pretty good episode though. Like I said, I'm pretty much attached to the hip when it comes to that episode. I'm gonna have to work on my timing because I am running at the mouth. I'm not leaving enough time for the next episode. I feel like, which is titled "Love and Rockets." Now, this is another episode that I think I like. I can't. Why would I say I think I like? I actually like this episode. So this is "Love and Rockets." This is the episode where they're trying to cement the two characters, Fry and Leela. They're trying to cement their romantic relationship, and this is pretty much. I mean, I think they've been together and been on dates and stuff like that, but they're not official. I don't know why I said that, but yeah. But I'm trying to think here. I'm trying to think here. Oh, and this episode was also a play on a really really good movie by director. I hope I'm getting it right. By director Stanley Kubrick. It's Space Odyssey 2001, which is a really really good movie. These movies like this are played in film school for future directors and writers and whatever the next generation. They are shown this movie in order to get their brains firing on all cylinders when it comes to creating new films, and which I think is great because there's so many. First of all, visually, spacing, setting. I mean, it's not really. I wouldn't say it's gonna win any. I don't, well, it did probably did win some awards, but I'm just using it as a figure of speech. I'm pretty sure it's not gonna win any awards for dialogue. It wasn't much, but there was a level of complexity in this movie that sneaks up on you, and which makes it even more enjoyable. The original 2001: Space Odyssey. Now their play on it involves some type of Valentine's Day stuff. Basically, Bender falls in love with the ship, which is pretty funny because the ship um, gets a feminine voice, which is weird because the ship had a male voice before. So, but I don't know. I'm not going to go down that line either. But Bender falls in love with the ship. But then he decides to break up with the ship when they're at like literally at the worst time when they're in a fight for their life because they had to deliver some candy hearts of all things to an alien planet, and nobody likes the way those things taste. They do taste pretty chalky. I think they even made a joke about what they're made out of. It's like bone meal and uh, ear wax pulp or something like that. Something to that effect, which is pretty much what that stuff does taste like. But throughout the whole episode, Fry's trying to find the perfect one to describe his feelings towards Leela, and he does the dare I say the cutest thing to Leela. Now Leela's trying to save everybody by disarming the ship or whatever, and but her oxygen is running out. So Fry is trying to tell her your oxygen is almost out. She's not listening because she thinks all he wants to do is show her a candy heart. So he decides to give her his oxygen, and pretty much his brain pretty much dies for a couple minutes. And ironically, when Leela's doing CPR and saving his life, he spits up a candy heart, and guess what it says? You leave me breathless. And there's also a touching moment at the end when, uh, well, they're stuck with the task at this point because there was no gravity in the ship for a while. They're stuck with the task of getting rid of all these candy hearts that they're supposed to deliver. They're scattered all over the ship. So Leela's like, I got a lazy way to do it. Flips a switch, the cargo door opens, and everything flies. All the candy hearts fly out. But as they fly out, they fly into. I, I'm not into astrology, so it's like a mass of energy where that's creating another planet, and it flies in there and basically melts, and then emits a beautiful ray of light for lovebirds. I like this episode; it's pretty good. Now, as far as me having the ability to do some more reviews, I'm just going to try my hardest to catch back up to where I feel like I need to be. So, till next time.